There's Mina, who I can think of, that she's Moroccan. Her English isn't great, but she comes alive when she's talking about the recipes and her food and her community and her family and why it's important to her.
We all wanna be good, good, good. Good neighbours.
We've got Nicolette Nichols from Haringey Community Food Network. Join us. Haringey Community Food Network is a network of growers, suppliers, emergency food providers, food banks, community kitchens, food support organisations all across the borough of Haringey in London. They take a collaborative approach to fighting food injustice in the communities, and they're part of an overdue conversation about real solutions to poverty, taking a whole food system approach to tackling food injustice. And Nicolette is a community activist who's a specialist in tackling social isolation, as well as running food banks, feeding people and addressing the loneliness epidemic that we've got in the UK today. So welcome, Nicolette. Thank you so much for coming. First of all, could you just tell us a bit about HCFN, Haringey Community Food Network? How did it get going?
Right, so the Haringey Community Food Network was founded by Sally and Musa, who founded it probably in 2020, around the pandemic. They recognised that obviously people are isolated, they're at home, they needed food parcels, and so they created and grew this food bank. But then it also grew into an organisation that realised that, you know, we're working in alleviating a certain small area of the issue, but who can we speak to? How many people can we work with? Who else is doing this? And so they created this network of different organisations, and it's grown to over 60 organisations that deal with food poverty, that have community kitchens, they deal with growers. And you know, they're just trying to deal with all of these organisations to help signpost, to provide information, to provide training to organisations, to people that vitally need it. But it's just creating those conversations and setting up these meetings. And you see Sally and Musa work tirelessly to organise these meetings, to have these conversations. But it's about reducing food poverty through conversations, through communication, and just creating that network.
What does a whole food system approach look like in tackling food injustice?
So you have all of this food waste that may end up in a landfill. We have a network of organisations, so text messages will go out, be here at this time to come and get this food. Contact all of your partners and get in your cars or be here at this place and tell people and distribute this food. So it's just working with people. It's trying to ensure that the food doesn't end up in a landfill, because we know that we can do so much with surplus food. You know, you can cook meals for homeless people. You can distribute it through community kitchens. You can distribute it through the food banks. And it just tackles that social injustice that, you've got all of these people that need food and they don't need to be starving because there is a surplus of food that's available.
What about those sort of supermarkets that pour bleach and stuff all over stuff? Could you ever directly talk to them about that?
Of course we do.
Why do they do that?
Because there have been situations in the past where people have taken it down markets and sold it on, but
still, though.
Yeah, but that is a small minority of people that do that. The large majority of people are doing, they're doing well in their communities. They want to do good. They want to make sure that it goes to the right places. So we try and work with those organisations. We try and have those conversations. And organisations like the Felix Project work closely with them, so they can ensure that it's being redistributed. But there's always going to be that cynicism in society, isn't there? That people, they don't believe that it's going to the right places. But that's a small minority.
Do you think it's got better? I think there's more awareness, much more awareness.
it's become so much more knowledgeable. You know, we're educating people, we're sharing knowledge, we're sharing information, and it has, you know, people understand finally that nobody should go hungry. You know, nobody in this country, you know, there is enough food for, and there are enough honest people, you know, that no one should be starving, that there is enough food to distribute.
Yeah, it takes quite a certain type of person to think that everyone's incapable of doing an act of goodwill, so you better pour bleach on your leftovers.
Yeah, it really
says
does.
more about them, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, doesn't it? It says that, you know, you have this horrible view of the world that you think, rather than, you know, distributing that food, you're going to destroy it.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, I think it's really weird. Alex has got a video.
We do, yeah, because when the Humanity Project started building the relationship with Haringey Community Food Network, Clare and others, a crew went down to meet with you and talk and see some of the growing. And so we've just got like a short 2-minute video to share some of the voices that have come out of the Haringey Community Food Network.
To be more human and need to hear from each other and not argue with each other. We need to reconnect with nature and reconnect with ourselves. I believe food is a really good way to connect with each other.
I think more and more people feel isolated, but they don't know how to connect to community. I think it's quite magical because you see them like sharing about their story and like enjoying the food and like really connecting more to other people. And then they suddenly like realize, actually I am valuable, I do have something to share. And I think that's quite beautiful.
I can see in the eyes of the people that they understand what we do is important, that what we do is not judging, is just to bring them together. This is the best way we can change things, is to inspire people. When you start to dig, you will find so many people who want to change for the positive and for society. Power will move from top to bottom up, but what I think this would change is it will bring people an impact of seeing they have agency and seeing that they can change the world and that they are important to others.
Well, I think it's a time where people feel very disempowered right now, and they feel like they have no agency and that what they do and their choices don't really matter and they won't move the state of things. So this will really give them the idea that actually if you do something and lots of people around you do something and you talk about it and you get them involved, you do have a lot of power. I think, well, we all have an idea of like what would work for us and the people around us. So we know our community, we know our spaces, we know exactly what is needed, and everybody could really contribute.
So those guys were working with Humanity Project and with the Haringey Community Food Network to organise the workshops, recipe sharing workshops called the Recipes of Love. Can you say a bit about that and why you think food and recipe sharing and story sharing and mixing those things together is such a good way to bring people together?
So that's Lorelei and Maxim, and they work with the Haringey Community Food Network. And they're amazing. You know, they've mobilised this what's manifested into a cookbook now, and it was like a grassroots organisation. You know, where they went round to community centres, they worked, and so I actually work with a community centre where we do a community kitchen and a food bank. And they went round to these community centres. They asked us for people that could cook and create these recipes, and the beauty is that food is universal. It's a conversation everybody can relate to. They all have a story. They all have a favourite food that they love. And just watching these people in our community, the volunteers who came together and pulled together these recipes, but it was all coordinated by Haringey Community Food Network. They listened to the people, they wrote the recipes, they bought the ingredients, and then the food was cooked and given to the community. And then they sat down and talked about these stories and talked about why this recipe was important to them. And it was just beautiful to see, because it brought together a community, and just the connection, the conversations. So there's Mina, who I can think of, that she's Moroccan. Her English isn't great, but she comes alive when she's talking about the recipes and her food and her community and her family and why it's important to her. And you had all of these people sharing their stories, and it just felt like such a beautiful experience, and hopefully that will be demonstrated in this cookbook that's produced at the end.
And quickly, to round things off, how do you think food can help us on a daily basis to be a better neighbour?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
We ask the difficult questions here at Good Neighbours.
How can it... Because, like I said, it's a conversation starter. You can speak to anybody about food. Somebody, you know, that you do not know, you can have a conversation with them about food. Tell me about your favourite recipe. Share a recipe with me. Or what did you have for breakfast today? It's just a conversation starter, and we can all relate. It's not like, oh, I don't know anything about that, you know, or why do you enjoy that? So it's just a way to communicate and to connect with people.
Should we start borrowing food again? When I was a kid, you used to knock on someone's door and borrow food. People think you're absolutely mental now. Let's start borrowing food, people.
Yeah.
Go home and borrow a cup of sugar and bake yourself a cake.
We do it all the time where I live. I live on a boat in a basin in a community, and like, you know, it's always on the WhatsApp. Has anyone got a tin of tomatoes? Anyone got an onion?
He's a boat person. We need to listen to them. Thank you.
That's boaters for you.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nicolette.